now, as far as closing the back door, Sunday morning doing worship, after praise and worship, somebody gets up and do our big greeting. Welcome to the movement, and they have this big, if you're a first-time visitor, please stand. We don't ask them to say anything, but we say we just want to love on you. So that's our way of identifying who's who. If we don't get them coming in as a visitor, sometimes it's kind of hard to recognize who's who, and we found that asking them are they a visitor really offends them, especially if they've been coming and you just not recognized. So we had to quit doing that. And so when they get up and kind of identify themselves, we give them what we call a connection card. On the connection card, we ask for basic information. You need prayer, areas in which you want to serve in, trying to get them connected like that. After that, doing offering, and this is another loop that we're still trying to work through. Doing offering, they put the connection card in the basket. But we know when that happens, a lot of people fill the cards off halfway, or you don't get the card. And so we have different times that we would like offer something. If you turn your connection card in, we have a coffee, what we call M Cafe. And so if you turn your connection card in, then you get a free coffee, or this type of deal. What then happens is after service, the administrative team is 3 ladies, they get the cards. Immediately after our second service, before they leave the church building, they send them a text. We really enjoy worshiping with you today. Hope to see you again. Something real vague. After that, during the week, they have a second point of contact later on that week, in which it's a follow-up call. And I was telling, give me your name one more time.
Jeffrey.
I was telling Jeffrey that it's really a fine line between follow-up and becoming a stalker. And so it's kind of trying to balance what is what. And so after we do the initial first 2 connections, or the first 2 point of contacts in that first week, the next week we sent out what we handwritten notes. And so I didn't want it typed up. And so the note would just say, you know, we noticed that you've been with us, we're praying for you, and we're something else, you know. But we signed it, the movement. So therefore it doesn't have to say Pastor Carmen, it's not my signature. So whomever on that team, they do. And it's like little cards you can get from like Target, and we just send it in the mail, postcard. And so that's beginning to kind of track team. One of the things of us growing so fast, we literally are just now getting down systems and trying to perfect. And one thing about getting down systems, you have to identify what works and what does not work for your culture. And so with that, we found too, as far as our new members class, that is huge for us. And we're changing the language from membership. We went from membership to partnership. We looked at Joel Osteen, which is a real far reach stretch. Well, Joel does not do membership. If you tithe, you're a member. So we're trying to figure out we don't do like the right hand of fellowship. You want to join, come up, we don't do that. You want to be part of what we have going on here. If you want to expand your commitment, is what we say. Come to new members class. We call it the family class now. Come to join our family class. And we call that M120, in which for 2 Sundays, 120 minutes, 60 hours each Sunday, you learn about the movement. And so I was telling him, we just like on a humbug, because for us, a few months, people didn't show up for class, but the church still was growing, but people wouldn't show up for class. And so we began to think, okay, we have to get them connected. So what we do is, when you show up for class, that's your first opportunity to serve. And we have a ministry that we call our greeting ministry. Actually, we call them brushers, because that means that they greet and usher. So we call them brushers. And so we choose for them where they're going to serve for the first month. And during that time, we also get the opportunity to figure out who really have a service heart, who really should be behind the scenes, who don't. And then they get to know us. It's also an opportunity to kind of get a relationship going with them. And it's worked. It's our second month. And they come up and they show up and they're like excited to greet, because they are so on fire about being part of the movement. And so that's